Want to warn you, I may have to interrupt at some point because we expect the coronavirus task force briefing to start any moment. But let's just discuss this stay-at-home order that I know you've wanted for quite some time. You've been pleading with people in your city to stay home. This new stay-at-home order takes effect in about an hour from now. Do you see people preparing for it, and do you anticipate people will follow it?
Yes. First of all, thanks for having me today. We do see people preparing for this. They're not panicking, which is what we want. They're just making some final preparations, I think, as they begin what we're calling a now normal that we expect to last weeks going into the rest of this month and possibly into May. But it's something that's been needed because we've been trying to stop the spread of COVID-19, and we've been looking at all the scientific data that we've been getting from medical experts, as well as listening to our first responders in terms of what they're dealing with in the community. And so while we're a little bit late, I'm glad that the governor did it, and we're going to move forward as a community to really try to flatten this curve and make sure that as many people are aware of this and are taking precautions, that they need to stay safe and to stay healthy.
Why do you believe your governor, Kay Ivey, held out so long to declare a statewide stay-at-home order?
Well, I think there was some resistance in parts of the business community, and I understand that to what it might do to the economy, but I don't think we have to put wealth versus health in the middle of this. I think the priority should be the health of our citizens, and that's what we've done here in the city of Montgomery. And I believe that may have had an impact in terms of what she was hearing from different parts of the state and what she was hearing from different mayors and other business leaders as well.
What was she hearing from you? How often do you talk to the governor? And what did you tell her on behalf of the people of Montgomery?
Well, I asked her to consider a shelter-in-place ordinance that I thought would really make a big impact coming from her, as opposed to mayors kind of taking a scattershot approach to it. And we've had conference calls with the governor probably once a week for the last few weeks. And she's been receptive. She's been open to a lot of the opinions that we've had. And you get different ideas and opinions depending on what part of the state you're in. But from my standpoint, we want to be proactive. We want to make sure that we're prioritizing not only the health and wellness of this community, but our first responders and the medical personnel. And we've been relying on the data that we've been getting from health experts and really trying to stay a couple of steps ahead of this as best we can.
Listen to these words from the nation's coronavirus response coordinator, Dr. Deborah Burke. She says, "We are only as strong as every community, every county, every state, every American following the guidelines to a T. And I can tell by the curve that not every American is following it." What do you say to the mayors of other cities and states where there still is no stay-at-home order? Are they as frustrated as you've been?
Well, I think they have to take bold action. I think they have to be decisive, and I think they have to look at this in the long term. If you look at it through the short-term lens, it's going to give you some pause. It's going to give you some caution from small business owners, from people who don't really want their normal way of life interrupted. I understand that and certainly respect that. I've been a small business owner myself. So it is very tough, and we want to deal with some of those challenges. But at the same time, it takes leadership, I think, right now to make difficult choices, regardless of what may be happening at the state and national level, that's in the best interest of the people that we represent. And I believe that is the best way to really look at this for mayors or governors who have not implemented curfews or have not implemented shelter-in-place orders, is to make the best decision that's in the interest of the health of our community, and the nation will bounce back. We're a resilient country. We have great people who are coming together all across our city and our state and our country. You've reported on some of those stories. We'll bounce back from this, but we have to make sure that we take the necessary steps right now, because each day we wait is a day that we put our citizens and the residents that depend on us to make these decisions at risk.
You know, it's hard for people, I think, to fully understand how dangerous this virus is until you're really in the thick of it. Tell me the state of the outbreak in Montgomery right now. How many people are sick in your community, and how are your hospitals managing so far?
Well, let me say this. You know, our hospitals, I think, are doing a yeoman's job in managing all of this. And I've talked to our healthcare partners in the community, and we have doctors and surgeons and medical personnel, nurse practitioners, all of our first responders, police, fire and rescue, and EMT. They're showing tremendous bravery and courage, and we really admire them for that. The community has shown an uptick, a little bit higher than what the nation is experiencing right now. We've been about 40% more cases than just a
Mayor
day
Reed, I'm
before.
sorry to interrupt you. We have the press conference just getting underway.